Anderson, how are you, brother? You good?
I'm fine, Garish. Thank you very much. And you?
I'm doing very well. I'm actually online after, I believe, six weeks, 5 to 6 weeks. I've not been recording or doing any call for quite some time, actually. So thanks
It's
for
my
contacting me.
yes, thank you, Garish. Thank you for giving the opportunity today to we can have this podcast and talk about it.
Mhm. So you actually sent me a very interesting question, and I'm just going to read the question for people who would be listening. All right. So
Sure,
the
sure.
question you've sent is that people have lost faith in themselves these days, and how can one regain what is lost deep inside? It's uh, it's a question I think which can't be answered easily to start with, and I have actually a question based on that question you just sent me. Is it something you felt deep inside yourself, or is it something you've observed among people around you? How did you come up with that question?
Well, that question, it's not. I think it's not by pure hazard that I haven't talked about it. It's by coincidence. I think it deep long times back while I was trying to get myself out of what I can say dark side, the dogs, because I was studying, and sometimes in my life I have lost faith in myself also, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to recollect things, to recollect the courage to go on every day, to have something to go on. So that's I will say it's based on my personal experience, because sometimes in my life I've lost that. I've seen, I felt that I have lost everything. I couldn't get out of it because I think whatever I was doing was like a failure to myself. So I think that long time back I sensed it that there was a light deep inside of me, like a flame, small flame, that was burning inside of me. I keep faith in that. One, by I think, but not I think it was by pure coincidence, or one times in my life, I just felt that this small has started to diminish in size, and
Mm.
that's what I came up with. Why am I losing faith in myself? What is the problem with me? Must I go on, continue with it, or I must stop and let faith take how it is and go and take life how it is? So when I sensed that this life was trying to diminish, was starting to diminish, I told myself, is there something more for me in the future, or is it now I have to let go of all the faith I have in me and stop doing what I do and live life what it is, and take it as it is. But as I continue, and deep inside of me, I said, no, but I must continue with it. I must
Mm.
keep faith and keep the willpower inside of me, determination to go. And perhaps the future might hold a brighter future. But what I can say was, this faith in me has given me the strength to go on. And now it's not that I haven't regained the full faith, but I have gained part of it. And I see that the people I'm meeting in my life is, I'm seeing that there's a sense of energy passing by, and
Mm.
the faith is regaining in myself. So I'm regaining this faith that I have lost, and I see that things are getting better, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that I hope that things will get better and better for the near future. But another analysis that I have been doing is that when I see people around me, I see that people have losing faith in themselves, in the humanity, in the things like we have passing the COVID-19. We see that people are becoming more and more individualistic,
Mm-hmm.
because what I can sense is that people are focusing more on themselves rather than the community and the people we are living. Even if you see in the family, each of the people are living in a segregated part of it. The parents are one side, the children. The bonding it's not here. If you see what I mean, the bonding is not really here, because you see you are living in an uncertainty, because every day the prices are rising. We don't know if we will get something to eat. The jobs, loss and jobs, love in that people are stopping to meet each other. The personal human touch is diminishing day by day, and people are more focusing in their house and doing things. But thanks we have the media and all the social media, we can do some webinar podcasts like this one. But even though this personal touch is missing in people, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's you actually gone through so many different problems, I would say,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and maybe we can look at each thing one at a time.
No problem. Yeah.
All right, because there's no straightforward answer to these things. It actually requires a lot of maybe thinking and really digging sometimes why things are not working out fine. So I would just start with the idea that for me, losing faith is quite natural. Losing faith in people or in general. If you just look at things objectively, if you just look at things the way they are without trying to hide the bad things happening, you will notice that you can easily lose faith in people, judging on the way they act or what they say and they don't do. And like you said, people being selfish, people just thinking about themselves, even if they say that no, they are not being selfish. So if you just look at things objectively, you can easily actually be negative about things and lose faith in that sense. So I would say that looking at things negatively when they are negative, that's actually not a bad thing. I think the bad thing is people or us, let's say, getting sucked up in that negativity and actually maybe us becoming like these people. I think that's the problem, because what happens is if you just look at the way people are behaving or the manipulation that goes on outside of yourself, let's say, you can easily give up. And I think that's what you meant when you said you got stuck into that dark place in yourself where you think, oh yeah, but what's the point? What's the point of even trying if it's going to be like that, isn't it? So I think that's quite natural. So I don't think that's a bad thing, because to me, I actually laid down like a sort of timeline, if you want, or the stages in evolution. So I think that people start with being very naive at the start, okay, where you think that everything is nice out there, people are worth trusting, okay, things like that, where you're very naive, and then you have experiences in life where maybe you get backstabbed, you have your faith challenge, you have your trust broken. What happens is, from naiveness, you move to another level where you become cynical. All right, where you said you are in that dark place where you think it's not worth it, right? So that's, I think it's the middle place, which is better than being naive. So that's why I don't view it as something bad, because when you really look at reality the way it is, your eyes will get broken. I don't know whether you watched The Matrix. Okay, I'm sure you've watched. In Matrix
Yes,
1,
definitely.
okay, good, because I'm going to use a code from The Matrix. In Matrix
Yeah.
1, when Neo looks at reality the first time, so he's on that bed, and then he opens his eyes. Okay, he's in reality now, he's no longer in the Matrix. And then he opens his eyes and he says, my eyes are hurting, all right?
Yeah.
And then they tell him, yeah, that's because you're seeing reality the first time, the way it is.
Yeah, I get
So,
it, yes.
So I think that's really powerful. So reality is dark. It's dark, man. So I mean, there's no denying it. Okay, so that's the first point, I think. Looking at reality the way it is. So it is dark, it's dirty, people are not nice. But having said that, it's not that all people are not nice. Okay, so we need to balance it. There are actually people who are trying to do good things. Okay, so we see the bad things, all right, but we also know that there is the other side as well. So looking at both things, I mean, that's why in Tao, or we talk about the yin and yang, right? So it's purely white, it's purely black, and the balance is being in the middle. So it's seeing both
Exactly. Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
All right.
Definitely,
So
definitely, yeah.
now why do we feel bad? Why do we feel that bad? That to me, that's the real problem. And I've thought about it for a really long time. I think we feel really bad because one reason is we don't want to see the bad things. I mean, who wants to see the bad things, right? So that resistance towards the bad things, that's what makes us feel really bad. That's one thing. The second thing is we are expecting reality to be different from what it is. Okay, and
Yeah,
that's the first noble truth in Buddhism, actually, where you are expecting life to be Y and it is X, and that mismatch in perception that creates suffering. So we are expecting things to be different and different to what they are, and that's the big problem. And I've actually thought about it a lot, and when I look back at experiences I've had, then when I analyze, I see, oh, I actually saw that thing coming. I actually knew there was evil in that person, let's say. All right. So when you look back, you say, oh yeah, it was always there. Maybe it was me who was naive enough to actually
I,
think it would not
I can
happen. You
relate.
see?
Yeah, definitely, Garish, because sometimes you know that people is doing something bad, but
Mm.
you can't accept it at the moment.
Yeah.
But with some times of it, when you continue to continue to interact with the persons, and with sometimes when you're ready and accept things that it is bad, then your eyes, your reality, like you have said, it's
Mhm.
coming back to you, and you see that, yeah, maybe I have to cut off ties with that person,
Mm.
because I don't see the energy that's between us. It's not working because I have to cut off. Maybe it will hurt me deep inside, but I have to do it
Mhm.
for my betterment, not for the betterment of the person, but for myself. Maybe I will get
Mhm.
hurt. Maybe I will try to be at my place in the dark side. I will cry. I don't know what I can do, but it's better to leave it than to stay and be what I can say, live in torture in yourself, because you're not living
Mhm.
your true self. You're being like an hypocrite. I can say that you're living knowing that the person is bad for you, but you're continuing to staying, and you're going to hurting yourself. So you're definitely right, because like you said, that the yin and yang, we need a balance in our life. Whereas
Mhm.
we often say that in the darkness there's no light, but it doesn't mean that, because absence of light is the darkness. But
Yeah.
complete
Yeah.
dark is not that there's no light. There's light there, but we can't see it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So even at night, there's what when you can say that even the darkest days in our life, there's some light there, but we just have to find it and believe that there is a light, and we can go it, because we can't if we are in the dark side, in the dark complete darkness, there's no way to get it out of it. But if we believe that the light is inside of us, we can definitely go out in the dark thing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True. True. And
yeah,
something else I would add is that if someone thinks that he or she is suffering really, really, really a lot, okay, I, I mean, it's hard to put a context where the suffering comes from right now, but let's say that's happening. We really need to take a deep look at ourselves, okay? And that's something I've always done, and I still do. It's looking at you, really, really, really looking at you, like in the mirror, and be very open and honest about it. What are the things you're really doing wrong? And
hmm,
that, man, that takes a lot of courage. Okay, and I recently wrote something, and which you read yesterday, actually, about the shadow and willpower. And
Yeah.
there is a part in that writing where we actually mention how I hated aspects of myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I
I
actually
yeah.
use the word hate, and it's not an exaggeration. It's really true. So I think the emotion of hate is very important. It's considered negative, okay, but that's probably one thing which I've used, or maybe I've harnessed the power of it. So I can actually look at me, okay, and say to myself, you know, you suck, you did that. You were weak, you did that. Okay, I can actually do that to me. Now, maybe people will say, oh, that's not good. You don't sound psychologically, let's say, sane to do that. Okay, but actually, I think that's really powerful. If you can really do that, if you can really look at yourself and really analyze yourself and say, oh yeah, that thing you did, that wasn't good at all. You need to change that behavior, because if you don't do that, if you don't destroy these weak parts of yourself, actually these will stay, and the future experiences you will have will actually resemble the ones you just had, because part of your software, if we call it software, you still have that same program which is going to create the same experiences. So you really need to look at yourself and really check, man, check where you suck and really fix those things.
And
I'm not
accept
saying
and
that,
accept.
yeah, I'm not saying that's
Yeah.
easy. That's bloody hard. It's
Yeah.
going to
Definitely.
break you. It's going to
Yeah.
really break you, but that's the thing to do. And I think people lack the courage to do that.
Because they don't want to see the real. Because I think that if we leave our true self, I think that we had the discussion. But if we show our real self to the world, I think
Mm,
will so many people will hate us, I will say, because that's what we are truly deep inside of them. But like you said, that accepting that we have the bad sides and give the positive sides, it's not, you must accept the both, the negative and positive side, because we are human beings. We have some, we are not perfect, we are not an angel, we are not good, we are not anything, we have our
mm,
bad side. So we, by accepting it, it's led to improvement. If we don't accept the bad side, like you said, that if you do a retrospective of yourself and see that,
mhm,
yes, analyze my day, that maybe I have not talked well with that person. Maybe I have done
mhm,
something. I did a harsh word. I used a harsh word.
mhm,
Maybe I can the next day. Maybe I can talk a more passively and more softly and
mhm,
try to improve myself. What I try
mhm,
to do, because I try to be a better person each day of myself. Maybe the today I have done something bad that I regret, but tomorrow I have to be a better person to do something better, not for the patient, but for me myself to be. When I go to bed at night, I can say yes, my day was good. I haven't done something bad to
mhm.
myself and to the other
Yeah.
person, because we are we, whether we like it or not, we are, all of us are interrelated. We are, we share a energy between us that so many people don't view it as such, because they see that,
Mhm,
yeah, the facts of energy is that yes, there's no energy, but there's energy interrelated between each of us. We have a wire. There's an energy exchange of energy. So when we do something bad, like I say that in Buddhism, there's a thing like the karma effect. We have the karma. The karma, we don't pay the karma after our birth. I think we pay the karma just like the paycheck. When we do something back, we get it immediately, or after maybe some hours back, you will get it in different
mhm,
way. Maybe when you will come back, that the ripple effect will be worse than what you gave to the person. So
mhm,
I
mhm.
think it's better to do something good to ripple better things than to do something bad and get something worse of it. So that's
Yeah, yeah,
what I think. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You talk about acceptance. I think
Yeah.
it's important. It's important to accept yourself fully. But once you've accepted yourself fully, you can't just leave it there. You need to check what are the things which are actually unhealthy and which you need to work on. And I think that's where maybe there's less effort by people, because Anything that requires work, you don't want to do it. And sometimes, let's say, things which are really wired into you, like habits, can be really hard to change. And let's say some people talk harshly to others, right? And they know it's not good, right? But once you get overwhelmed by emotions, you just talk harshly. Now, changing that habit, calming yourself and actually thinking before you act, that's going to take time. It's a lot of effort. So do people really want to accept, yeah, that's a weakness from my part, and I need to really work on it? So that's where discipline comes into play, being honest with yourself, being disciplined, working